going to be any introductions, and no one's going to introduce me, so I'll have to introduce myself. Actually, the truth is that for a great deal of time, whenever I went any place, does anyone understand Yiddish here?
English isn't so good either.
English isn't so good either. Okay, I'm going to try not to have to yell louder than everyone, and by rights, I almost really shouldn't be here at all tonight. And the reason for that is first of all, I don't know which is first and which is second, but tonight is the yahrzeit of my father, Moshe Yitzchak Langer, and also I'm in the middle of Avelos for my mother, Samira Langer, Hallel Sholem. So there are like almost two reasons for me not being here, and yet to be able to share a few words, especially Chanala had a very special relationship. She's named after my mother-in-law, Chana Rechel Langenthal, a woman who was dedicated to Yiddishkeit throughout all of her life, someone who worked for Eretz Yisrael throughout all of her life. And my mother had a very special relationship with Chanala. My mother lived to be 100 years old plus, and last year, Pesach time, about a month before Pesach, she was in a facility, blood kosher facility in Poughkeepsie, New York, if you would believe that or not. And she said to me all of a sudden, am I going to be eating treif over Pesach? I said, no, Mom, everything is blood kosher here. There's a full-time mashgiach who is here all the time. And she said, okay. Then a few weeks later, she says, am I going to have a Seder on Pesach? And I said, there's no way. There's a blood kosher facility in Poughkeepsie, and there are maybe 3 Jews in the whole place, and out of the 3 Jews that was there was, like 1.5 frum Jews that were there. And I said, what's going to happen? And I called, and I asked our daughter Shana, do you think I can ask Chanala if she can come? And she said, yes, sure. And Chanala came, and my mother came home with us, and she was with us at the Seder, and she was able to have her wishes on that which was her last Pesach. So she always spoke about her nurse. My sister, who unfortunately today was the yahrzeit of her husband, said that in the year of Avelos, there are often very special things that happen, as if, there is the Malach that's up there in Shemayim and doing things. And all of a sudden, my mother took care of her nurse and found her Mordechai. I said, I've definitely got to say something about that. So I haven't said anything about it yet. But I'm sure that anyone who is going to be speaking this week about the Parsha is going to be talking about Ma Tovu Alecha Yaakov, about the Jewish homes and how someone looks and takes a look at it and says, wow, look at that, and that's the home that Mirz Hashem they're going to build. But people often don't notice that unless you have the Aliyah or you have a Chumash that points it out, it says that Ma Tovu is Barosh Amud. That Ma Tovu, that sentence is always at the top of the Yeriah of the Sefer Torah. It's always at the top. And some Chumashim have a little note that say, the Ka Shemo, Beis Yud Hey, Shin Mem Vav, that those are the 6 psukim that are always found, according to our minhag, at the top of the Yeriah, the top of the column of the Sefer Torah. So everybody without any difficulty should know what the Beis stands for, which is always at the beginning of a Yeriah. And if don't remember, it's Bereshis. The first pasuk always starts at the top. And then there is the Yud for Yoducha Achecha, that when Yehuda is given the bracha by his father Yaakov, so he said, your brothers will acknowledge you. And many point out that this is that Yehuda wasn't the oldest of the sons of Yaakov, and yet the bracha was given to him. And that all of the brothers agree that it's appropriate that he should get it, so much so that we became known as the people of Yehuda. We're not the tribe of Reuven or Shimon or something else like that. We're all of the tribe of Yehuda. And who's the one that stands out in Tanakh as being the Yehudi is Mordechai HaYehudi. He's the one who's described there, even though he was from Shevet Binyamin, because that's the name which became all of us. Now, Rosh Amud, Amud is like that for which we stand up. And the Amida, of course, the idea of that which is at the Rosh, at the top of things. The next pasuk has to do with what happens with the Egyptians coming, chasing after us, that Habayim, the hay, those who come after us are destroyed or brought away. And then Shemo, the Shin that comes after that, is from Parshas Kisisa, where it says Shmor Lecha, about keeping all of the mitzvos. And then the end, the Vav all the way in the end, is from Parshas Vayelech. And then, of course, the Mem is this week's Parsha, Matovu Olecha Yaakov. So what are the things that we stand for? What are the things that the Chassan and Kala stand for? Bereshis, look at the back. Look at Yehudi, the definition of who we are. Remember always Shmor Lecha, about keeping the mitzvos and everything that you're doing and the foundation of what is there. And the enemies who pursue after us will not be able to come. And that will create the house of Matova Olecha Yaakov, of how wonderful the house of Mordechai and Chanala is. Now, I became interested in gematrias a while ago, and I saw some very interesting things about the gematrias of Chana and Mordechai together. What the gematria of Chana and Mordechai add up together to Erusin. And the gematria of Erusin, likewise, adds up to B'chodesh Zeh. And the gematria of Chana and Mordechai and Erusin and B'chodesh Hazeh, likewise, equals Hashem Yarchiv Gulchem. Hashem should make things greater. And the gematria of Chana plus Mordechai, which equals Erusin, which equals B'chodesh Hazeh, excuse me, not B'chodesh Zeh, which equals Hashem Yarchiv Gulchem, equals Zemer Umachol, joy in the celebration. And for what is this all? It all equals the Regel Chagigi, for the tremendous celebration that's taking place. So in the name of the Friediger Dor, the generations that come before. No, I'm speaking about my parents, Aleichem HaSholem. I'm speaking about your other grandparents, Aleichem HaSholem. Speaking about the Pogrow grandparents, great-grandparents. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the great-grandparents now. The Pogrow great-grandparents, the Milner great-grandparents, all of the Langenthal great-grandparents, the Langer great-grandparents, all of whom, many of whom, you have the schus to know that you should be able to have that bias that everyone will take a look and say, Matovu Ohalecha Mordechai B'Chamala, and Mazel Tov to you, Mazel Tov V'chutanim, and Mazel Tov to everyone who's a Mechutin here. Thank you.